Sculptor Ossip Zadkine and painter Valentine Prax lived together for almost 40 years in the Assas street in Paris. Their home studio with garden was their discreet haven in Montparnasse, and it became the Zadkine Museum in 1982, thanks to a bequest by Valentine Prax. The exhibition, Ossip Zadkine, A Life of Workshops, marks the institution's 40th anniversary and unveils the museum's photography collection, showing the sculptor in the intimacy of his home studio. The photographs and artworks of Zadkine and Prax respond to each other, revealing their place of life and creation as a whole, offering an embodied evocation of the sculptor's studio.
Born in 1888 in Belarus, Ossip Zadkine moved to Paris in 1910, stating that it is where one can truly become an artist, especially a sculptor. He quickly became immersed in the Montparnasse district and, through his studio moves and encounters with the Avant-Garde, his sculpture found its identity.
Zadkine, who was very poor, constantly searched for stones and wood to sculpt, working with salvaged materials at La Ruche and later in his studio on Rue de Vaugirard in the early 1910s. He created his first stone heads, carved in direct size. Around 1913, he moved to a larger and brighter studio on Rue Rousselet, where he selected large woods and experimented with other materials, including cement.
However, his momentum was abruptly halted when he enlisted as a stretcher-bearer nurse during First World War. In 1916, he was gassed and hospitalized, leaving him physically and mentally crushed after the war. Nonetheless, he found a new momentum through the discovery of Corsi, new friendships, and his marriage to Valentine Prax in 1920, which marked the exploration of multiple sources of inspiration and the confirmation of his fascination with wood and stone. In the years following his first exhibition, held in his studio, on Rue Rousselet, Zadkine searched for a personal way of representing the human figure. His studio then became a laboratory of plastic experiments. While he was influenced by Cubism for a time, he also experimented with other techniques such as modeling, gilding, and lacquer.
In 1928, Prax and Zadkine settled into the house studio on Rue d'Assas, which has now become the Zadkine Museum. The sculptor was immediately captivated by his Folie d'Assas, a peaceful place nestled in greenery, yet ideally located just a stone's throw away from the hustle and bustle of Montparnasse. This new home was both a sanctuary for sculptures created in previous workshops, which now inhabited the workspaces and garden, and a repository for future works.
In the early 1930s, Prax and Zadkine shared a mutual interest in mythology and ancient Greece. Large-scale works emerged in the sculptor's work, which underwent significant stylistic evolution.
During this time, the couple acquired a house and barn in the village of Arques, Lot, which became their second workshop. Works traveled between Paris and Arques. However, creative momentum was again interrupted by Second World War. Zadkine made the difficult decision to exile himself to the United States, while Prax sought refuge in Arques. In New York, the sculptor, who felt the need to rediscover the precariousness of his early days, rebuilt his life away from his wife. Nevertheless, a few significant works emerged during this tragic period.
Upon returning to France in 1945, Zadkine gradually populated his workshops with large heroic figures, such as La Ville de Truite and La Forêt Humaine.